Well, hello, freedom seekers. As you can see, I am running 6 minutes late here tonight. Just finished up a yoga session with Kat, and we do yoga by following this gal on YouTube. Her name is Adrienne, and check her out if you are interested in yoga yourself. Just all you have to do is put it in YouTube search engine, Adrienne Yoga. Adrian, and she was highly recommended to us, and we've been now doing yoga with her for I think about two and a half months, and really happy to be doing that. It's something that we were going to start doing when we went off to the Philippines in February, but we never got to the Philippines because our plane ticket got canceled because of the pandemic. And so, we, after about a month being in our home isolation, quarantine, all that kind of stuff, through the month of March, I think it was in April, and we decided it was time to go ahead and start doing some yoga. And neither one of us had ever done yoga before, but this is something I brought up last year as a desire to do because my body is needing more motion and movement and strength and stretching, and never done anything like that. I've worked out with weights and done cardio workouts and stuff like that in a gym before. Done that a lot, calisthenics and running and biking and just all kinds of things like that. But all of that is good for building some muscle, but it doesn't really stretch your muscles. And I've never been one to, before going out on a bicycle ride or before going out on a run, to spend time stretching. And so my body is pretty tight. And so that's where I thought then that yoga would be really great when we're in the Philippines to start learning how to do yoga. And so we're doing it here, and then we'll continue our practice in the Philippines when we get there. And so we're here tonight with our weekly update. It's week 7 update, and on my transition to making money online and your transition in whatever it is that you're working on. I hope that some of you are working on transitioning from a monogamous to a non-monogamous life, and that's our desire for you, if that's what you want, is that you would be able to live the non-monogamous life of your dreams. And so I'm going to go ahead and switch over here to my screen where I can then share my notes with you, and we can go from there. So let me just click on a couple buttons here. Okay, so yes, the weekly wrap-up video report. It's where I come to you on Monday evenings, and I usually am here between 8 and 8:30, and then takes somewhere usually around 45 minutes or so to do, go through and chat with you for a little bit and have a nice time together. And so that's what we're doing here tonight, is the weekly wrap-up report, where then I'm transforming your life and helping you to transition from monogamy to non-monogamy. Or maybe, you're already living in a non-monogamous life, but you really want to be able to transform your life into something that is even more desirable. Because that's one of the things that I know of myself I love my life, but I just want more, and that means that I want more abundance sexually. I want more abundance with my own health. Even though I'm pretty good health, but I want more abundance. That's why I'm doing the yoga, and I'm wanting to have more abundance in connections with relationships that I'm in. And so there's things that we always want more of. I'm wanting more financial abundance. That's what this transition to having my income be online is all about. And so, that's what we want for you as well, is for you to week by week use my example, the transition and things that I go through, because success and failure is all part of the transition, and you'll go through some of the same struggles. Yes, when I was transitioning my relationship, my marriage was 15 years ago, the struggles weren't identical to what I'm going through now, but, they really were. For instance, the whole idea that, I really wanted it to happen in a couple months, not 2 years. And so the things that had to be transformed within myself, and then taken and go through the steps that we had to go through, and working with other people. Sometimes those people let you down, and all kinds of different things like this. And where, you can let any of that come along and just be your roadblock and bring your life to a stop, and you just end up living the same life that you have now without moving forward and with the things that you want more of in your life. And it's not that there's anything at all that's wrong with your life now that needs to be fixed in your life. It's just that you want more, and at least I hope you want more. And whatever that more is for you, then that's the transition that we want to help you with. And so one of the things that I mentioned to you last week is that I'm going to be giving away 2 bonuses, each worth $299 here this week. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and said that I would give those away to people who are attending this week. And I'm going to be doing this, giving away these bonuses for 2 weeks. And the reason I'm doing that is that, like the first bonus here is a 60-minute one-on-one process with Kat to reset your future. Most people, a lot of people I talk to these days, they really just don't know where their future is headed with this pandemic that we're in. And that everybody wants to get back to work. And I understand that the government wants everybody to get back to work. They want the economy to get rolling again, and taxes to be paid, and people making money and paying their bills, and people buying things. And, they want all that to happen. And so we're kind of rushing this pandemic along, but this pandemic is like the Grim Reaper that's sitting out there, and it's just out there going around the world, and the Grim Reaper's out there, and he's there waiting for people. And so, I feel really bad for those people that get hurt by the Grim Reaper. One guy here just read a report last week on, that he'd been so good, wearing masks all the time and staying home and not going out. This is a local guy here. And but he one time went out because some family member had a family barbecue, and he went out to the family barbecue. I think it was Memorial Day weekend. And so, wanted to celebrate a little bit. And not everybody was wearing masks and all that kinds of stuff, because you're eating and drinking, so you put your mask aside, and then you don't always social distance. Well, he came down with the coronavirus. And then when he came down with it, he ended up passing it before he knew he had it, passed along to some other family members as well. And he's 51 years old, or was, and just kind of got sicker and sicker, and then went off to the hospital. And by the time he checked in the hospital, he died the next day. And so, it's stories like that. The Green Reaper is out there and is going to get people when they let their guard down. So I just want to say here, don't let your guard down. It's not time for that. Okay. Keep your guard up. And so I'm going to keep reminding you of that because this is not going away. And I know there's politicians and everything, businesses, and even yourself, and myself. I mean, I'm anxious for this all to go away. But reality is, it's not going away anytime soon. And it's going to be around for 2 years. I remember when this whole thing started that people says, well, the summer comes and it'll die out like the flu. Well, I thought maybe during the heating season, but then why in Arizona right now are they having terrible time with trying to contain this thing? In Arizona, where temperatures are 100 degrees. Yeah, this thing does not cool or does not go away when things heat up, temperatures heat up. And so anyway, I'm going to get off of that soapbox, but take care of yourself. Don't let your guard down and stay healthy. And so that's then where we're going to go ahead, and for the next 2 weeks, we're going to give two $299 bonuses. One is a bonus that is with Kat, and the other is a bonus with me. And so the first one here is a 60-minute one-on-one process with Kat to reset your future. Because like I said, there's a lot of people we talk to, and Kat's got, had, I think, one appointment today and had on the phone appointments, and one or two appointments at the last part of last week. And she picked up a new coaching client last week. There's a lot of people that are coming to her now, and they're really concerned about where they're even going to go with their future. It's like everything's being torn apart now. And we have a process to help you with that. And it's a process that Kat will take you through. It's a one-on-one process. She only does 5 of these a week maximum right now, because she's going to spend an hour with you one-on-one, but it takes her prep time and other time that goes into this. And so she only has a certain amount of time which then she can devote to her one-on-one sessions like this. And so she's going to go ahead and she's agreed to, for the next couple of weeks, to do 5 a week. And so I hope that you go ahead and take advantage of that. And so to take advantage of that, then down there in the description, then in the top of the description for you, there is a link. And it's a link to Kat's schedule, where you can get on her schedule, just work it. You can see where her schedule is, and you can get a 1-hour session with her, and she's going to help you to go through a talk about 30 minutes with you, and then with just really like a coaching session, what she does in her coaching sessions, and then after 30 minutes, and she's going to do a process, and it's a process that's called Resetting Your Future. And that'll be really, really useful and helpful to you. And so take advantage of that. And then I'm going to take and give what's called a magnetic alignment step process that you're going to go ahead and get with me. Now, this is going to be a scheduled item where I'm going to do a group of people at one time and take you through this process. So I'm going to then probably schedule it for it'll be 2 to 3 weeks out yet. And so in order to take advantage of that, then you want to go ahead and, again, at the top of the description there is my email address. Go ahead and email me and tell me that you want to take advantage of the step-by-step magnetic alignment process. Now, I want to specifically allow you to get your time in with Kat first, because she's going to help you to reset your future and go through a coaching process talking about, what do you want in your future, and help you to try to get back on track with that. And she's going to help you do that reset. And then I'm going to come along after that, and I'm going to do this magnetic alignment step process. And it's a very powerful process that my mentor has taught me, and I just really get so much out of it. You will as well. And it's where we take you through this process of looking back at where you've been in your past, and then look to your future, where you want to go. And so by doing that process then, and we call it a magnetic alignment step process, because you're going to actually be doing some stepping things. And it's just an amazing process. And so I want to go ahead and send me an email on that, so that we can get you on that Zoom when it gets set up. Okay. So let's get on then to tonight. And I always take and talk about a topic. And so tonight's topic is, how are you using your pandemic time, and where will you be when we get out of this? You see, I haven't talked to very many people that understand the opportunity available to you during this pandemic time right now. Just because we can't be out. I mean, like myself, for the first 6 months of this year, I had like 5 major trips that I was going to be on, and kind of going here and going there and going a lot of different places. And when all of that, I had money paid and everything for all that, and when all that came to a stop, and kind of I needed to refigure things out in my own life, then as it turned out, it's the best opportunity I could have asked for. And that was the opportunity for me to really spend time to focus on making this transition that I'm making, shifting my income to being an online income. And so I'm able now to take my time and really spend every week and pretty much every day focused on that. And so I know that some of you still have, family responsibilities, and some of you still have work responsibilities and things like that going on. But still, you're not in a place where, at least I hope you're not, so I know there's a lot of people are, they're getting out and doing the whole thing of going to shopping things and going to, the parks and the beaches and all kinds of different public events. And that's how people are meeting the Grim Reaper, and so just enjoy this time and sit back a little bit and figure out, how is it that you can benefit from this time? This during this pandemic. Where will you be when you get out of this? And one of the things that I mentioned here a couple of weeks back is that these people I know that, they have a program that they rolled out about how to take and create websites that when people do searches online, for instance, one of the things that they have done themselves, a search for in the Phoenix, Arizona, where it is hot and a lot of people have pools and their pools need maintenance. And I don't know much about pools, okay, but every once in a while, I guess, the pool needs to be resurfaced. And so there is a specialty that's called pool resurfacing. And you can go to Google. Well, you couldn't, but I have tools where I can go to Google and I can see how many people every month in Phoenix, Arizona are looking up the term pool resurfacing in Phoenix. And it's a couple hundred people. And, and when you think of the thousands of pools out there, it's understandable there might be a couple hundred people every month. And over the course of a year, 500 to 1,000 people that are really seriously wanting and needing to have their pool resurfaced. And so they took and they ranked this site called Pool Resurfacing in Phoenix or something like that. And they own that site, and it's the number one listing. Anybody that goes to Google and searches pool resurfacing in Phoenix or pool resurfacing near me, and they're in the Phoenix area, then this site's going to pop right up in the number one Google position. And they rent that site out for a couple $1,000s a month. And so they spent, their time and their skills to build that site and to rank that site. But they have done that actually with about 20 different sites. And not all of them make $2,000 a month. Some of them only make $500 a month. But they make a really great income from that. And so they decided to go ahead, because how many different cities and different types of businesses could you think to be able to do something like that with, Just think about your own town, driveway repair, plumbing, wash machine repair, all kinds of different terms. And with the tools that we have, we can find out exactly how many people in a given month are going to Google and looking for that service in your city. And then if there's a little thing, more work to do to find out if that's a site that you really want to go ahead and try to build then and rank. So they have a whole program that they came out with where then they teach you to find the phrases and the words, the terms. We call them keywords or long tail keyword phrases, long tail keyword phrases. And where then you can go ahead and find those phrases that people are searching for. And so then you create a site, and then they teach you how to take and rank that site in number one position. Now, some areas, then that site, for instance, if I did personal injury lawyer in Los Angeles, that would be much too hard of a site to rank, because these personal injury lawyers have spent tens of thousands of dollars to get their sites ranked up there at the top. And so that would be a very difficult site to rank, and that would not be a site that you'd want to do this on. But there's so many other opportunities, and you don't have to pick the town where you're in. I mean, you can pick the town anywhere in the world. You can pick a town in England if you want to make sure it's English speaking, or pick a town in Australia, or any other English speaking country, and where they have these kinds of different specialties that you can come up with, and you think, for instance, locksmith locksmith near me. And I use this example because I attended a training last week with a guy in England that's what he did, is that he went and he started to rank sites all over England for locksmiths in England, locksmiths near me. And he would use a town, locksmith near London, locksmith near this, whatever, I don't know, all the towns are there. And so, but he found that then he basically, he figured out that one little niche, and he just took this very similar site and duplicated these all over England then. Now, he then worked a little different twist on this too, which I'll tell you about at another time. But where then, I'll tell you just briefly now. Whereas if for instance, he goes out and rents a site to a locksmith, he builds the site and then he rents it to a locksmith, and before he rents it to a locksmith, what he has a program that basically spits out the leads, and it'll spit out the lead to the 20 locksmiths within a 10-mile radius of that. And it'll text them or email them, and they'll say, hey, I'm going to give you this one lead, and I'm going to give it to you. We're only going to ever give you one lead. And so do you want this for free? And so he does that once he gets the site built, because then people are going to that site and they're putting their information in, like, yes, please contact me. I need a locksmith to come in. And they don't use emergency type services for this. They use things like, I need a locksmith to come and rework the locks on my home. And again, there's specific keyword terms that he uses in order to get just that client. And so then the leads come into his site, and they then go out to all these locksmiths, and he gives them a free lead. And then he contacts those locksmiths and says, hey, here's my site. It's in the #1 position. I get X number of leads every month. And he has already the proof to show that. He says, would you be willing to pay $25 per lead? Now, most locksmiths will say, yes, I'll pay $25 for leads, because those are really good leads. And if I just have 1 out of 2 leads pan out for me, I can make really good money for that, because the average locksmith job is about $400. And so, because they usually go and do a couple locks in a place, and that's the average. Some are more, some are less than $400, but the average is $400. So it's like, okay, if 1 out of 2 leads pan out, then that means I'm going to pay $50 for a lead that pans out, because one's not going to be any good. And so that means then I'm paying $50 to make $400. Yeah, that's a good deal. And so they go ahead and then they start paying him for these leads. And then he says, well, how would you just like to rent the site? And he goes ahead and works a deal with them to rent the site. And so that's just worked out to be a gold mine for him as well. And so I want to be able to mentor and teach you how to do these things. And so, I ask you again then, what are you doing with your time during this pandemic? When we're 2 years from now, and we're looking back and thinking, oh man, that was so much longer than I ever thought it was going to be. Well, I know it's going to be that long, but most people don't want to realize that. And so then, you just think, oh, I'm just so glad that's over now. 2 years from now, where is your life going to be? Are you going to crash with this whole economy falling apart? Are you going to crash with the pandemic and maybe your job not being in the same good spot, or with just being stuck financially as companies have to downsize because they're in such desperate places? Maybe you're in a company like Amazon or Zoom or some of these other companies. There's a lot of tech companies out there that are just thriving in this pandemic, and maybe you're in with one of those companies, or maybe you've been able to hire on with one of those companies. Then fantastic. But then, is that what you want to do the rest of your life? And so you could take this chunk of time. This is your opportunity right now and do something where I can help you to get started in helping you get started, because this is one of the things that I want to do, is to be able to mentor people in making this shift. And that's why I'm transparent with you every week, like I am here week by week, in making this shift. Now, what I'm doing is a little different than what I'm going to mentor people to do, because I want something that's going to be very simple and easy that you can just take and learn one skill. I'm learning about 20 skills because I'm wanting to build a complete marketing agency, and that marketing agency where I'm going to have 50 to 100 employees and helping people that are non-monogamous people like yourselves, providing support and help and helping you to create online businesses. And so then there's a lot bigger picture for what I'm doing, but for what you're doing, it can be just something really simple where you can create yourself a $10,000 a month income. So yeah, maybe it'll take you the next 2 years to do that. Maybe in 2 years, you even fall flat on your face and, you've only created a couple sites by then and you're only making $5,000 a month. But then you just go another year, another 2 years after that, and you're making 10 grand, 15 grand, 20 grand a month. That guy that I told you about, that he sells his leads. Now he's got himself about 40 sites over there in England, locksmiths. And he said a slow month, a site will bring in 50 leads. Now think about that. 50 leads. If he was getting $100, 50 leads, yes. If he was getting $100 per lead, 50 times 100, then that would be $5,000 a month. Now, he doesn't get $100 per lead. He gets $25, 1/4 of that. And so then, in other words, then a slow site that only gets 50 leads a month, he then makes $1,025 a month from, if he's selling the leads. Now, if he rents the site, then he rents it out for $1,000 a month. But then that's just like easy bread and butter. So it's easy peasy stuff. Okay. And so you got 20 sites out there that are doing that, and he's got 40, but you got 20 sites out there that are doing that. I mean, that's really good money. And so these are the things that you could be using your time now during this time of the pandemic to create a life for yourself that in 2 years from now, 3 years and 4 years from now, you're going to look back like I now look back on the 2-year process that I went through transitioning from monogamy to non-monogamy, which took me like a lot longer than I ever thought it would. But now I have had 13 years of lovely, just wonderful, wonderful times with not only the loving relationships, but times of amazing sex and sexual partners as well. And going to be seeing one of my friends with benefits later this week, and I'm excited about that. It's our last week. I'm just always excited every week I get a chance to see her, because just the idea of going out and when you're in a committed relationship and having somebody that you see once a week, or a couple of people, you see this person this week and this another person next week, and to be able to go out once a week and just have, just have a lovely time where they look forward to seeing you and having sex with you as much as you look forward to seeing them and having sex with them. And so I've been doing that now and living that life for 13 years. Yeah, it took 2 years to get there, and actually 49 years of misery and in my monogamous marriage. But we won't, go into all those years. But, so maybe you've had years of misery in your relationships and in your sex life, and you've had ups and downs. And maybe that's how your financial situation has been too. And maybe then you realize that during this time of COVID-19, this whole pandemic, let it be your opportunity to make transformations and transitions. Because see, a transformation is what changes go on here so that you can make the transition and take the steps to go on to where you're going. You see, for me, that transformation last November came to a place where I just felt like I just wasn't able to make any more progress. And so that transformation got to be hard. And I remember my last business I built, I met those kinds of points, and where then it was just a fight. It was a struggle. Yes, I made progress. Yes, I made money, but it wasn't sustainable and it wasn't fun. And so we don't want you to do that here. And like my business that I'm building is what my coach, my mentor, he says is an ELF business, and that is easy, lucrative, and fun. And I want you to have an ELF life, an easy, lucrative, and fun life. And so that's what I do, and come in here every week to talk with you about these things. And so let's go on then talking and giving you the weekly report. Now, my weekly report then starts out by telling you about my overriding desire. My overriding desire is to make an income online of $5,000 a month. That's ongoing, sustainable. That's that ELF income. It's easy. It's lucrative. It's fun. It's just easy peasy. And so that's my first step, because yes, I'm going to make a lot more money than that, but that's my first step, and that's my overriding desire right now, is to get that money coming in online. And then something that Kat and I are working on, and we're really excited about, and that is we're creating the Non-Monogamous Relationships Academy. And this is going to be an online, in fact, I should put that in here, the Non-Monogamous Relationships Academy. And so that you'd be able to take, and we're going to have free memberships, and you'd be able to take and tap into our academy and get help with things so that you can transform your life. And people that have been following and been getting coaching from Kat now, she started doing her coaching 3 years ago. And people that have been getting coaching from her, they just like go on and on about how amazing, how in talking about having an ethically and consensually non-monogamous life. These are people that are coming to her. Her clients are seasoned, ethical, and consensual non-monogamous people, and they're coming to her because that she does things every week that kind of gets their attention and gets their interest and everything, and they're just like, I have never heard anybody that has ever really talked about non-monogamy in the ways that you do. I go on and I'm in these groups and everything, but see, and that's because when I transitioned myself into non-monogamy, I was excited, and I had some speed bumps along the way, and I got past them, and I found out that it seems that within our community, we're just going around this hamster wheel dealing with the same things, the dramas and jealousies and all the same things, and rehashing things over and over. We're not really helping people to just thrive and soar and flow in their relationships to get to a place where they desire to be and have the relationships they really, truly want. And so that's where we talk about things really in a very different way. I've been mentoring and training Kat for years, and now 3 years ago, she started mentoring and training other people with things that she learned from me. And now also she's learning from our mentor, and just some processes and stuff that are just amazing things for her to be able to share with other people. And so that's then what she's doing, and we're going to be doing a lot more of that through the academy that we're building. And so that's the overriding desire, the things that we're working on right now. Now, what was this last week's focus about? Okay, last week's focus was me building my high impact partnerships with Smart Video Revolution, doing a program called Video Platform Marketing Agency Training, and another program where I'm completing week 1 of 12 in Magnetic Mindset Certification Training. And did I do a pass or fail on all 3 of those items? I would say one is incomplete yet, and that's the last one on week 1 of 12 of the magnetic mindset, because that kind of goes from Wednesday to Wednesday. And so I've got one more day here to complete some work on that. And but I'm going to give myself a pass, and then I'm making just small steps, little bits of progress every week, taking a little bit of training and implementing some things based upon my training, and then move on to the next step and the next step. And so a lot of my time is spent in training, and but yet, I say a lot of my time is like if you were to get started on something, it's really part-time. And where you don't have any requirements on how much time you have to devote to it. And I've got busy things going on all the time that make it so that I can't just take and sink 40 hours a week into these processes of moving my life forward to creating this online income. I don't have the 40 hours a week to do that with. Just like you don't have 40 hours a week probably in order to sink into creating an online income for yourself, or to transition your monogamous life to a non-monogamous life, or any of the other transitions that you're going through in your life. And so these are very part-time processes, 5 to 10 hours a week. And that's all it takes. It's just a little bit every week, but that's consistently week after week after week after week. 5 hours a week in a year, just say 50 weeks, and that's 250 hours of training and progress that you will make in a year. And that's why I say that in this next 2 years, during this time of this COVID-19 pandemic, use this time, because we're not going to get out of this time quickly. Don't be blowing smoke in the wrong places and thinking that it's going to be over soon. It's not. And so prepare and think about, okay, what can I do in the next 2 years in order so that when this whole thing is all done, then I am going to be in such a better place that I can truly go out and have myself a party, and utilize your time for that. And so that's what I'm doing. Now, what setbacks and frustrations did I have last week, and just thinking about that, I don't know. I can't say that I had any setbacks and frustrations. And my accomplishments list there was actually from the week before. I forgot to update that, be honest with you, and I ran out of time getting ready for tonight's report and video to you. But accomplishments last week, one of the things that last week's was a big accomplishment for me. I guess this would be more in the area of breakthrough, and that is that just to understand that where with my energy starts to flow in a direction that I don't want it to flow in, where it's just like I get so tired or anything, it's because I'm thinking about too much about, about future stuff instead of just being present. So for instance, in the present today, I had an abundance of food and my body's healthy, and I lived an abundant life. And so I can have abundance right here where I am at today, because that's one of the keys that Kat teaches her coaching clients, and one of the keys that I started making some videos about years ago, that you have to take and feel and experience that abundance before you can then have that abundance. It's just about your energy, your words, your thoughts, and your feelings, in that it's going to take you where you program it to go, just like a GPS. And when you program it with abundance, by feeling abundantly now, by thinking abundantly now, and by talking, your words, your written or spoken words, being words of abundance, then that's when you start to actually have more abundance and the kind of abundance you want. My life is sexually abundant. Now, I want more though. I do. I want more. And I've got one girlfriend that I'm not able to see because she and her husband they've got really frail health, and so I haven't seen them since since I think last year, and they live just 10 minutes away, but because of their health, I just don't want to risk the whole pandemic thing. And I'd feel terrible if I found out that I ended up getting the virus and gave it to them, and one of them died because of it or something, and so we talk, but then we maintain social distancing because their health is just really not all that good. They wish they took care of their health. They're both in the mid 70s, then now I just have one play partner. And now I've got my girlfriend in Seattle, and she's dying for me to come to Seattle, probably maybe by this time next month, I'll be there in Seattle. We'll just see how that things go with that. But yeah, I'll spend some time then with her. And so, my life being rich in and abundant in sexual pleasure and partners, but I want more. And I hope you do too. And so, whether we're talking about sex then, or whether we're talking about health, or whether we're talking about money, I hope that you want more. And that's where I come here and I help you. I want to help you to have more and get more. Help you to make the transformations in your life and to be able to also make the transitions. I mean, I have these guys who contact me every single week, and I just can't believe it. Guys, don't you guys have a brain sometimes on how you approach people? Because you're just horny and, you want to be able to take and have some sex, and don't you have a brain? I'm sure there's nobody that listens to me that's like that. And that's one of the things through the Academy, that we are going to take those guys that just seem to be clueless, and we're going to help them to be able to have some clues. And so those are things coming up in the Academy. And so with all this then, what's my focus for the coming week? And my focus for the coming week is exactly the same thing as my focus for this week, except for instead of week 1 of 12 here, we're going into week 2 of 12. And one of the accomplishments on that last week is that one of the things that we learned these processes, and we have 12 processes in total that we learn. And these processes are things that we need to practice a lot. And it takes about 30 to 60 minutes to practice one process one time. And so my coach recommends, my mentor recommends, I have a coach and a mentor, and I pay them both. And Kat has a coach and a mentor. She pays them both. And so, but they recommend, even though we both are learning the same processes and everything, going through the same program and all, they recommend that we don't practice on each other, because you don't practice things like this with your relatives. They can create issues. And so our relatives are people you live with, people you love, you're and so things like that. And so, and same thing with close friends, you don't do that with your close friends. And so what we do is we get practice partners. And so last week I ended up getting 2 practice partners, which one is in Australia and the other is in Colorado, and Michigan or Wisconsin, someplace like that. And then I got contacted today. Somebody else is interested in being a practice partner. So 3 practice partners gives me an opportunity then to practice 3 times a week. And so that takes about half hour to an hour for me to practice, but then they're going to practice on me. Now, it was one time I'm the coach and they're the person being coached. Another time, then they're the coach and I'm the person being coached. Or excuse me, they're the coach and I'm the person being coached. We reverse it like that. And so, with 3 people that I'm doing this through just once a week, then that alone will take up probably about 8 hours a week. And so these processes, but they're very important for the preparation that I'm doing for some of the things that I want to do in the future and helping to build this community for non-monogamous people. So I see that somebody has joined us here live, and so if you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and pop into the chat on any of your questions. We're just about ready to wrap this up, and if you it's always nice to know where people are coming from, and so if you don't mind, go ahead and put into the chat on what city and state or country that you're actually coming from as well, so that we know where you're coming from. But we have just about wrapping things up here, and that we've talked about everything on the list and finished up with the focuses for the coming week. But I'll just go back for, again, the bonuses. Don't miss out on those bonuses, $299 each. And so that's $600 worth of bonuses that we are going to give away to everybody that's watching this for free. And so if you don't know about that, then just catch the first part of the video where I talk about that, and you'll be able to take and enjoy those bonuses. And yes, those bonuses. It's like I don't even know how to express them to you, because you don't have any knowledge or information. But it's a timely situation where right now, where people are so not just knowing where their future's going, and we're going to help you with these two bonuses, and each bonus is worth $299. And so I don't see any questions come through. And so thank you very much for joining me. And if you are here for the first time, then please come back and join us again. I'm here live every Monday night giving this weekly wrap up and report video. Every Monday night, sometime between 8 and 8:30, I get on. I like to get on closer to 8, but like tonight, I'm getting my yoga later than I wanted to get. And so it was, I got on at 8:26, I think it was. And so join us on Monday nights, and you can always watch the replays as well. And then, but you're always welcome to ask whatever questions that you have. Now, if you have joined us before and you like the video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to my channel so that you can keep getting notifications of when I go live. So thanks a lot. Enjoy your life, and don't forget to be a freedom seeker.